You are not tired. You are not undisciplined. You are not burned out. You are being drained. Systematically. Silently. By design. And the worst part? You gave permission. Not once. Every single day. You keep handing it over. Your focus. Your time. Your clarity. In exchange for what? Convenience that exhausts you. Connection that isolates you. Information that paralyzes you. The machine doesn't need your body. It needs your mind. And it is feasting. They say you're tired because you work too much. They say rest more. Sleep earlier. Take a vacation. But look around. Automation. Convenience. Optimization everywhere. Your grandparents carried water. You tap a screen. Your grandparents walked miles. You sit, and yet you end the day exhausted. Not physically. Mentally. There's something broken in that equation. Because the body rested. But the mind was never quiet. This isn't fatigue. It's cognitive leakage. Think about it. A battery doesn't drain because you used it. It drains because something is running in the background. Something you didn't consciously choose. Something that was designed to stay on. And leaks are rarely accidental. Every product you use was built to maximize engagement. Every platform was engineered for return visits. Every notification was crafted to interrupt, provoke, and pull you back. They didn't build addiction by accident. They built it with intent, and then called you weak for falling in. Nothing competes for your money first. Everything competes for your attention. Because attention is the currency. Your money follows your attention. Your behavior follows your attention. Your life follows your attention. Whoever owns your focus owns your future. Notifications, updates, micro decisions, endless low-level choices. Respond now or later. Scroll or stop. Open or ignore. Like or keep moving. Post or stay silent. Each decision is small. Trivial even. But small decisions multiply. Research shows that the average person makes over 35,000 decisions per day. Most of them invisible. Most of them unnecessary. Most of them engineered by someone else's agenda. Decision fatigue is real. The mind doesn't distinguish between choosing a lunch spot and choosing a life direction. It just gets tired of choosing. By the time something important appears, something that actually matters, something that could change the trajectory of your life, you are empty. You look at it. You know it matters. And you say, I'll deal with it tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. Because tomorrow you're empty again. You were active all day. Your phone never left your hand. Your inbox was always open. Your notifications were always answered. You responded fast. You stayed informed. You never missed a message. But what did you build? Sit with that question. What exists today that didn't exist yesterday because of you? Movement is not progress. Response is not creation. Consumption is not evolution. Being busy is the most socially acceptable form of avoidance. Because when you're busy, no one questions you. No one asks what you're building. No one asks where you're going. No one, including yourself. The system keeps you busy, not because it wants you to succeed, but because a busy person never stops to question the system. Busy people feel productive. Drained people feel tired. Tired people don't rebel. Tired people comply. And compliance is profitable. Think about who benefits from your exhaustion. Think about who needs you distracted. Think about what you might create if you had 3 uninterrupted hours. And then ask yourself, when was the last time you had 3 uninterrupted hours? Because it doesn't hurt. That's the genius of it. It doesn't break you. It doesn't explode. It doesn't arrive as a crisis. It arrives as Monday, then Tuesday, then a year passes. And you wonder where it went. It doesn't reduce you suddenly. It reduces you gradually. Less focus, less patience, less clarity, less ambition, less curiosity, less courage. And somewhere along the way, you stopped noticing because you adapted. And adaptation is survival. But sometimes what you survive isn't worth surviving. You normalize the noise. You normalized the interruption. You normalized the fog. And you called that being an adult. You called it responsibility. You called it how life is. But here's the question no one asks. Who told you this is how life is supposed to feel? Because the version of you at 12 years old stayed up all night working on something they loved. Not because someone told them to. Not for a deadline. Not for money. Because they were alive with it. Where did that person go? They didn't burn out. They were drained. History remembers a specific kind of person. Not the busiest. Not the most connected. Not the most informed. Not the most responsive. The most focused. Darwin had a thinking path. A literal gravel path in his garden where he walked in silence. Every major problem was solved on that path. Not at a desk. Not in a meeting. Not with a team. In silence. Newton discovered gravity during a plague year. Universities closed. Social life stopped. The world went quiet. And in that silence, he rewrote science. Einstein played violin between equations. Not to relax. To reset. To clear the frequency. The mighty dead don't do more. They lose less. They protect attention like territory. Because they understood something most people never learn. Energy spent in the wrong direction is not wasted energy. It is redirected energy. And someone else is using it. They eliminate unnecessary decisions. They reduce exposure. They design silence. Not as luxury. As strategy. Because preserved energy becomes directed power. And directed power becomes legacy. The question was never, how do I do more? The question was always, what deserves my energy? So what do? You don't need a revolution. You don't need a productivity system. You don't need a new app. You need to audit the drain. Start simple. What opens in the morning before you've had a single thought of your own? What steals the first 15 minutes of your consciousness? What runs in the background of your day, consuming processing power you never consented to give? Identify it. Then eliminate it. Not reduce. Eliminate. Because a slow leak is still a leak. And small leaks sink ships that survive storms. Design your environment before your environment designs you. Because the world is optimized to extract your attention. It will not stop. It will not apologize. It will not ask permission. So the responsibility falls on you. Not to fight harder, but to build walls. Selective. Intentional. Permanent. The goal is not silence for silence's sake. The goal is signal over noise. Depth over breadth. Creation over consumption. You don't need more discipline. You need fewer leaks. You don't need to wake up at 5 a.m. You need to close invisible valves. You don't need another routine. You need to understand what's already draining the one you have. The people who changed the world were not superhuman. They were simply more protective of their attention than everyone else. They said no when you said yes. They sat in silence when you scrolled. They built when you consumed. Not because they were gifted. Because they were deliberate. Simple question. Where is your energy leaking today? Name it. The notification you check compulsively. The conversation that leaves you hollow. The content you consume without ever creating. The decision you make every morning that doesn't need to exist. Name it. And then decide. Is it worth what it's costing you? Not in money. In life. Because you don't get the hours back. Not one. The drain is real. The choice is yours. Are you going to keep allowing it? Or are you going to reclaim what was always yours?